Let's talk about this album, Tim, because I felt like we should talk. This is the last album in the category. And I felt like we should stop on this one a little bit because it's one of the biggest selling albums of all time. It's almost like you can't just, gloss over it. I'd never listened to it. Okay. I'm clearly not the age or the demographic to have heard it before. I did listen to it in preparation for this podcast, and I've got my one sentence review of it, which I'll give you in a minute.
Okay.
Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory is one of the best-selling albums of all time. It sold like about 1 billion copies, apparently, or maybe a few trillion. I don't know. Here's my one sentence review of this album. See if you take issue with this. Okay. Bit of Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
Bit of hip hop. Bit of new metal. Package it like a boy band.
What a recipe for success that was.
It was massive.
Yeah.
What do you think of my one sentence summing up?
I think you're pretty much there. I think they're kind of better. I remember the singles as they came out. Like you, I only listened to the album for this, but I remembered the singles. And they had a sound and they pulled it off. I mean, basically, it was almost like a kind of... almost a boy band sweetness in the voices, and then they'd go into a kind of a death metal chorus, and they did it really well. They did it with aplomb, I think is the word.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's bad.
So the production is great, and the shifts of tone they pull off brilliantly. It's not my kind of music. I mean, I do really like Nine Inch Nails, and I think unfortunately it's a reference lost on you, but it's the sort of music that I do think baby Colin Robinson would have liked when he was going through his teen rebellion phase.
Okay, I hope the listeners understand what that means.
What We Do in the Shadows, sitcom with Matt Berry.
I know of it.
Matt Berry.
I love Matt Berry.
And baby Colin Robinson goes through...
Matt Berry's just texted me. He's just texted me to say...
Say that I'm talking bollocks.
No, he's just texted me to say, I've just... This is happening as we speak, guys.
Yeah.
I've just played the Imagine white piano last week. Never thought I'd type that. Okay, just fresh news in from Matt Berry there. I hope he won't mind you sharing that with me. Anyway,
I've played the Mrs. Mills piano at Abbey Road.
I've played Benny's piano at Polar Studios before Polar Studios was destroyed. That he played Dancing Queen on.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. I think that trumps. I think that trumps everything, including the John Lennon piano, in my opinion.
What, including the Mrs. Mills piano?
Including the Mrs. Mills. I'm sorry.
What, the day in the
Benny's
life?
piano from Dancing Queen. It just trumps them all.
Oh, all right.
If you ask me.
So it's really well done, and I can see why it was successful, because there's a kind of, they pull off the sweetness and the gruffness, and it sounds fantastic.